What's up? What's up? It's your boy Matt Knows MMA coming at you with my UFC Fight Night picks and predictions in Mexico. Branden Moreno versus Steve Erceg this Saturday, March 29th. I'll be covering every fight, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event. I hope everybody's having a great day. Everybody love everybody. Let's get to it. Baby. Kicking off the first fight of the prelims, we got a lightweight matchup between Markel Medeiros versus Austin Hubbard. Markel Medeiros is a minus 192 favorite versus Austin Hubbard plus 160 dog. Austin Hubbard, he's 16-8 with 5 KOs, 2 subs, 9 decisions. It's his fourth fight in the UFC. He's coming off a split decision loss to Alexander Hernandez. He has good wins against Michael Figlak. Man, he lost to Kurt Holloway by triangle choke. It was a nasty triangle choke. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It was dirty. He's a well-rounded fighter, man. He's never been knocked out in any fight. He's not even a TKO, I don't think. But he's tough, man. He's a well-rounded. He can take people against the fence, press them against the fence. It's going to be interesting. He's fighting Markel Medeiros. Markel Medeiros is 9-1 with 6 KOs, 3 decisions. He's on a 7-fight winning streak. It's his second fight in the UFC. He's coming off a unanimous decision win against Landon Quinones. He likes to keep fight standing, man. So he's not. I don't know how he is against the wrestling and pressing against the fence that Austin's going to try to do to him, I feel. He has a bunch of knockouts in smaller organizations. He just came off a first-round TKO knockout on Dana White's Contender Series. It was a nasty knee. If you haven't seen that knockout, look it up. It was dirty. Man, it's a tough fight to judge. I'm going to go with the dog in this one. I'm going to pull off. I think Austin Hubbard's going to pull it off. I'm going with the plus 160 dog. I think Austin Hubbard's going to be too much, pressing him against the fence and trying to get takedowns. I'm going Austin Hubbard, split decision win. Put it down. Let's go. Moving on to the second fight of the prelims is a featherweight matchup between Jamal Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. Jamal Emmers is a minus 325 favorite versus Miranda, a plus 260 dog. Jamal Emmers, he's 20-8 with 8 KOs, 3 subs, and 9 decisions. He's 2-3 in his last 5, coming off a KO loss to Nate Lanoir in the first round. It was dirty. If you haven't seen that knockout, look it up. Nate's a dog. His last win was against Dennis Bazooka. He also won that fight by first-round knockout. So he likes to keep the fights in the first round, it seems like. He likes to keep the fight standing. He's fast on the feet. He's good at defending takedowns. He's been in the UFC for a while, so he's a vet. He needs to stop Miranda from taking him down. That's his key to victory because Miranda's good at submissions, so he better watch out for that. Gabriel Miranda, man, he's 17-7 with 1 KO, 16 subs, and 0 decisions. He's 1-2 since joining the UFC, coming off a second-round KO loss to Morgan Charret. Ooh, it was a brutal knockout. If you haven't seen that knockout, it was dirty. Morgan Charret, he lost his last fight, but, man, he's a good young up-and-comer. Oh, man, his last big win was against Shane Young. He won that by rear naked choke. It was in 2023. It's been a couple years since he's got a win. He needs to win bad. He's fought some big names. He fought Benoit Saint-Denis. He lost to Benoit Saint-Denis by TKO. It was dirty. But, I mean, Benoit's a dog. He's a freaking ex-military, whatever. He's a freaking dog. With that being said, man, I think Jamal Emmers is going to be able to stop the takedowns, and he's going to piece him up on the feet. I think Jamal Emmers is just too fast. Man, so I'm going to go Jamal Emmers by second round TKO. Put it down. Let's go. Moving on to the third fight of the prelims, we got a lightweight matchup between Rafa Garcia versus Vince Pichel. Garcia is a minus 485 favorite versus Pichel, a plus 370 dog. Rafa Garcia is 16-4 with 1 KO, 8 subs, 6 decisions, 1 no contest. He's 3-2 in his last 5, coming off a second-round TKO loss to Grant Dawson in October. Man, he's been in the UFC since 2021, so he's got some UFC experience. He got a big win over Clay Guida. He outstruck Clay Guida like crazy in that fight. If you haven't watched it, it was just a striking clinic from Garcia. Guida got messed up in that one. And Garcia, he's got the age advantage in this one. He's got a 12-year age gap, so he's fighting old man, old vet, old Vince Pichel, man. Vince Pichel, man, he's 14-4 with 8 KOs, 0 subs, 6 decisions. He's 3-2 in his last 5, coming off back-to-back losses to Marco Madsen and Ismail Bonfim, both by decision. So he's a dog, man. He'll fight to the end. He'll get that fight to the decision. He made his UFC debut in 2012. So he's been in the UFC for 13 years. He has good wins over Jim Miller and Austin Hubbard recently. Uh, he's a savage, man. He'll keep pressing you. He'll keep pressing forward. Man, it's a tough fight for him, though. Rafa Garcia is a young up-and-comer. He's a dog. Man, with that being said, I'm going to take the favorite in this one, Rafa Garcia. I think he's going to piece him up. This might be Vince's last fight. It's probably going to be a retirement fight. He's going to drop the gloves, I feel. Hope not, but, I mean, he's getting old. He's like 40-something. So, yeah, I'm going to go Rafa Garcia by second round TKO. Put it down. Let's go on to the fourth fight of the prelims. We got a women's strawweight matchup. Lupi Godinez versus Julia Pilastri. Godinez is a minus 218 favorite versus Pilastri, a plus 180 dog. Lupi Godinez, she's 12-5 with 1 KO, 2 subs, 9 decisions. She's 3-2 in her last 5, coming off back-to-back losses to Mackenzie Dern and Verna Jandaroba, both by unanimous decision. Man, she's been in UFC since 2021. She's 7-5 overall record. She has good wins over Tabitha Ricky and Elise Reed. Both good wins there. Man, she can't lose 3 straight, man. She needs a big win here. She needs to bounce back. She cannot lose to a young up-and-comer, too. She needs a win bad. All right, Julia Pilastri. She's 13-4 with 4 KOs, 3 subs, 6 decisions. She's 1-1 since joining the UFC, coming off a split decision win over Corey McKenna. Man, she's a good fighter. She's well-rounded. She can get TKOs, submissions. She's good around on the feet. She's good on the ground. She's well-rounded, young up-and-comer. Man, she's wild, too. She'll throw some crazy striking numbers out there, man. If you haven't seen her fight, her striking numbers are insane. Her nickname's a Psycho, so it makes sense. I mean, yeah, so she's a dog. She's good at young up-and-comer in the women's strawweight division, so I think I'm gonna go with her to win, man. I think Julia's gonna be too much. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Julia Pilastri. I think she's gonna outstrike Lupi on the feet. So yeah, I'm gonna take the dog in this one, a plus 180 dog. Yeah, I like that money. I think she's gonna stop the takedown. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Julia Pilastri by split decision win. Put it down. Let's go on to the fifth fight of the prelims. We got a featherweight matchup between Christian Rodriguez versus Milicazel Costa. I probably butchered that name, and I'm sorry. Christian Rodriguez, he's a minus 148 favorite versus Costa, a plus 124 dog. Christian Rodriguez, he's 12-2 with 3 KOs, 4 subs, and 5 decisions. He's 4-1 in his last 5, coming off a unanimous decision win against Austin Bashi in January. Man, he's 5-2 in the UFC. He's known for taking people's O's, honestly. He took Raul Rosas Jr.'s O and Austin Bashi recently. He took his O too. So he's the O killer, apparently. Man, he's well-rounded too. He's good on the feet, good at stopping takedowns. He's stuffed every one of Raul Rosas Jr.'s takedowns. So, yeah. Rodriguez, he's a good young up-and-comer. He's fighting Milicazel Costa. 22-7 with 7 KOs, 8 subs, 7 decisions. He's 3-2 since joining the UFC, coming off of back-to-back wins against Andre Fili and a name I will not try to pronounce. Both by submission. He's got a nasty submission wins on his record. He's going to be trying to get used to his jiu-jitsu in this one, I feel. Because I don't know how good his striking is. He hasn't really proved much in the UFC with his striking, so I guess we'll find out because Christian Rodriguez, I feel like he's too well-rounded. Costa's not going to be able to just win with his jiu-jitsu, I feel. So we're going to find out. So, yeah, with that being said, man, I think I'm going to go Christian Rodriguez to win this. It's probably going to be by unanimous decision, or it could be a TKO in the third. Man, so, yeah, I'm going to put Christian Rodriguez by TKO in round 3. Put it down. Let's go on to the co-main event of the prelims. We got a middleweight matchup between Jose Medina versus Ataba Gatier. Medina, he's a plus 400 dog versus Gatier, a minus 535 favorite. Some big odds, man. Some big odds in this one. Jose Medina, he's 11-4 with 8 KOs, 2 subs, and 1 decision. It's his second fight in the UFC, coming off a unanimous decision loss to Zachary Reese. And he lost on Dana White's Contender Series by unanimous decision, so I don't know how he made the UFC. So that's interesting. Before the back-to-back losses against better competition, man, he was on a 6-fight winning streak. So he was on a streak before he came to the UFC. But he came to the UFC and lost both times. So not good. Oh, man, he struggles to defend a takedown. Zachary Reese took him down 5 out of 9 times. And Zachary Reese is not that great at taking people down. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight in this one. Atiba Gatier, he's 6-1 with 5 KOs and 1 decision. He's making his UFC debut coming off a second-round TKO win on Dana White's Contender Series in September against Yuna Nieto. Before that, he had 4 straight knockouts in the first round. So nobody was getting out of the first round with this guy for a while. He has crazy power. If you haven't seen his amateur fights and the fights in smaller organizations, he was putting people away. He's got crazy power. I think he's going to try to make a statement in this one, and I think he's going to put Jose Medina away. I think it's going to be in the first early too. So yeah, I'm going to go with Atiba Gatier by first round TKO. Put it down. Moving on to the main event of the prelims, we got a flyweight matchup between Edgar Chavez versus CJ Vergara. Edgar Chavez, he's a -305 favorite versus Vergara, a +245 dog. Edgar Chavez, man, he's 11-6 with 4 KOs, 7 subs, and 0 decisions. It's his 5th fight in the UFC. He's 1-2-1. He's coming off a unanimous decision loss to Joshua Van at the Spear. That was a freaking great fight, though. Yeah, Joshua Van, he's a freaking dog. Joshua Van might be fighting for the titles here soon in the flyweight division. Watch out for him. But Edgar Chavez, man, he's got great takedowns. He's got good stand-up. He's got great submissions. He's a well-rounded fighter, man. He just fought a dog in Joshua Van's last fight, so yeah. His last big win was against Daniel Lacerda in February last year. He won that fight by triangle choke. It was a nasty little triangle choke for him. All right, man. CJ Vergara, he's 12-6 with 7 KOs, 0 subs, and 5 decisions. He's 2-3 in his last 5, coming off back-to-back losses against Ramazan Bek, Tamarov, and Asu Amabayev. I probably butchered those names, but I'm trying it. His last big win was against Vinicius Salvador. He won that by unanimous decision. It was a good little win for him. CJ, his key to victory in this, man, I feel he's got to keep this fight standing. He's got to keep the fight standing. He cannot let this fight get to the ground because Chavez, he's too good on the ground and too well-rounded. With that being said, man, I think I'm going to go with Edgar Chavez, the hometown favorite. He's going to get the crowd hype in the main event of the prelims. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Edgar Chavez by unanimous decision win. Put it down. Off the main card is a flyweight matchup between Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. Rodriguez, he's a -148 favorite versus Borjas, a +124 dog. Rodriguez, he's a 17-2 with 7 KOs, 5 subs, 9 decisions, and 1 no contest. It's his 3rd fight in the UFC, coming off back-to-back wins against Dennis Bondar and Ode Osborne. He beat Ode at the Spear. That was a good little last win for him. He's on a 7-fight winning streak. He's a really aggressive fighter, man. He's going to be trying to get this fight to the ground. And when he's on the ground, man, he's not like it's boring on the ground. He's freaking exciting. He'll keep the fight exciting. Just watch his entrance and everything, man. He's just a happy fighter. He just loves being there. Oh, man. So yeah, he needs to get this fight to the ground. Yeah, he needs to get this fight to the ground. Kevin Borjas, he's 9-3 with 8 KOs, 0 subs, and 1 decision. It's his 3rd fight in the UFC, coming off back-to-back losses against Joshua Van and Alessandro Acosta in May. Ah, man. That's bad. He's 0-2 since joining the UFC. He hasn't won yet. Ah, man. He's probably going to try to keep this fight standing, so he needs to keep this fight standing and have a chance against Ronaldo because Ronaldo's going to have the crowd advantage. He's on a 7-fight win streak. He's got a lot of freaking confidence. So, yeah, Borjas better be ready. Yeah. But with that being said, man, I'm going with the hometown favorite. I cannot pick against Ronaldo. He's a freaking exciting fighter. I hope he wins. So, yeah, I'm going to go for Ronaldo Rodriguez by first round submission. Put it down. Let's go. Moving on to the second fight of the main card, we got a bantamweight matchup between David Martinez versus Simon Oliveira. Martinez, he's a -395 favorite versus Oliveira, a +310 dog. David Martinez, he's 11-1 with 9 KOs, 0 submissions, and 2 decisions. He's making his UFC debut coming off a unanimous decision win against Xavier Franklin on Dana White's Contender Series. And he's a dog. And he was champion in small organizations. Before coming to the Dana White Contender Series, he was on a 4-fight knockout streak. He was killing people. So, yeah, he's got a lot of hype. He's got a lot of hype coming to the UFC. I think he's going to be looking for that highlight reel knockout to get the bantamweight division noticed about him. Yeah. Seaman Oliveira better be ready. Seaman Oliveira, he's 18-5 with 5 KOs, 11 subs, 2 decisions. It's his third fight in UFC, coming off back-to-back losses against Tony Gravelli and Daniel Marcos. You can't be 0-3 in the UFC, Seaman. Come on, man. You got to win this one. I don't know if he's going to, though, because David's a dog. Seaman's got to get this fight to the ground and try to get a submission. He's a big underdog, plus 310. It's a pretty big dog. I think David's going to be too much on the feet. And I think David's going to get the highlight reel knockout. It's probably going to be the knockout of the night. Yeah, so I'm going to go David Martinez by second round knockout. Put it down. Moving on to the third fight of the main card, we got a bantamweight matchup between Raul Rosas Jr. versus Vince Morales. Rosas Jr., he's a minus 345 favorite versus Morales, a plus 275 dog. Rosas Jr., he's 10-1 with 2 KOs, 6 subs, 2 decisions. He's 4-1 since joining the UFC. He's on a 3-fight winning streak against Terrence Mitchell, Ricky Tercios, and Quayle. I can't pronounce that last one, man, but it was at the Spear, his last big win. Man, he's been improving on the stand-up. He's always been known for his ground game. He's good at taking people down, getting submission wins, getting their back. He's freaking the backpack kid. He gets on their back, and it's over. He needs to get this fight to the ground to win. He could strike with freaking Vince. I don't know how Vince is striking. It's okay, but we'll see how good Raul Rosas Jr.'s striking has improved since the last one. Vince Morales, man, he's 16-9 with 7 KOs, 5 subs, 4 decisions. He's 0-2 in his last 2. Again, he lost to Taylor DePuss and Elijah Smith, both by unanimous decision. He's been in the UFC since 2018, man. He's fought some big names, Song Yadong, Chris Gutierrez. He lost to both of them, but some big names he's fought. Oh, man, he needs to keep this fight standing and have a chance, I feel. He can't go to the ground with Raul. Raul is just too strong and too good on the ground, and he'll get submitted easy. But I'm going to go with Raul to win this. He's a hometown favorite. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the young kid. Raul Rosas Jr. by second round submission. Put it down. Moving on to the fourth fight of the main card, we got a middleweight matchup between Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Pfeiffer. Gastelum, he's a plus 310 dog versus Pfeiffer. He's a minus 395 favorite. Some big odds in this one. Kelvin Gastelum, he's 19-9 with 6 KOs, 5 subs, and 8 decisions. He's 2-3 in his last 5, coming off a unanimous decision win against Daniel Rodriguez, where he missed weight like a motherfucker. Yeah, that was not good. Yeah, he didn't even care about making weight. He made a freaking YouTube video about missing weight. It's freaking embarrassing. He's gonna be trying to get this fight to the ground. He cannot stand with Joe Pfeiffer. I think Joe's got too much power. Yeah, so Kelvin's better get this fight at the ground. I mean, Kelvin's got some knockout power too. He's knocked out some big names. He knocked out Michael Bisping for the championship. And he knocked out Tim Kennedy. He's got some knockouts on his resume. So I mean, yeah. But Joe Pfeiffer, man, he's 13-3 with 9 KOs, 3 subs, 1 decision. It's his 6th fight in the UFC. He's 4-1 overall. He's coming off a first-round knockout against Marc-Andre Barriault. He's been knocking everybody out, I feel like. He's got that crazy one-hit power. He just puts the lights out. Like, if he hits you, you're going to sleep. He's got that power. Yeah, so, yeah, Kelvin better try to get this fight to the ground. If it's standing, I see Joe clipping him. And it's probably going to be the first, knockout loss for Kelvin Gastelum because I don't think he's ever been knocked out. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Joe Pfeiffer by epic first-round knockout. So, yeah, put it down. Joe Pfeiffer, first-round knockout. Put it down. Let's go. Moving on to the co-main event of the evening, we got a lightweight matchup between Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. Manuel Torres, he's a minus 125 favorite versus Drew Dober, a plus 105 dog. Manuel Torres, he's 15-3 with 7 KOs, 7 subs, and 1 decision. It's his 5th fight in the UFC, coming off a first-round TKO loss to Ignacio Bahamondes at the Spear. Oh, man, but I mean, who hasn't lost to Ignacio Bahamondes recently? Everybody's been losing to him, so I mean, Manuel Torres is just another one in line. But before that, Manuel Torres, he was on a 3-fight first-round finish streak against Chris Duncan, Nicolas Mota, and Frank Camacho. His last 11 fights, man, have not made it out of the first round. So it's either he's won the first round or he's lost in the first round. But they're not going out of the first round. So that's exciting. That's exciting to know. Drew Dober, man, he's 27-14 with 14 KOs, 6 subs, and 7 decisions. He's 2-3 in his last 5, coming off back-to-back losses against Renato Carnaro and Gene Silva. If you haven't seen that Gene Silva fight, it was a freaking war. I was at that fight, man. It was an endeavor. I was at that fight. It was freaking great to see it. Drew Dober ended up getting stopped by the doctor. He had a nasty cut above his eye. Gene Silva was landing some nasty spinning elbows on him. So, I mean, but Gene Silva, he's part of the fighting nerds, man. They're on a freaking streak that's the best streak I've seen in so long from any team. But Drew Dober, man, he's got that one-hit knockout power. So if he catches you, he can knock you out. Ask Bobby Green. I mean, everybody's been knocking out Bobby Green, but when he knocked out Bobby Green, that was dirty. Oh, man, I want to go with Drew Dober to win this, man. I feel like he's going to win it, man. I think he's going to bounce back after back-to-back losses, and he needs a win. He needs a win bad. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Drew Dober by second round, TKO. Put it down. Moving on to the main event of the evening, we got a flyweight matchup between Branden Moreno versus Steve Erceg. Branden Moreno, he's a -198 favorite versus Steve Erceg, a +164 dog. Branden Moreno, he's 22-8 and 2 draws with 5 KOs, 11 subs, 6 decisions. He's 3-2 in his last 5, coming off a unanimous decision win against Amir Abalzi in November. So he's got a recent win on his belt. He lost his previous 2 fights to Brandon Royval and Alexandre Pantoja. He's going to need to get this fight to the ground against Steve Erceg. Steve Erceg's really slick on the feet, and he's got that one-hit knockout power. So Branden Moreno, I think his key to victory is getting his fights at the ground and controlling. And, I mean, Branden Moreno can strike too. He's probably going to try to strike off him a little bit. But, I mean, Branden Moreno's best key to victory is getting this fight to the ground, I feel. Steve Erceg, man, he's 12-3 with 2 KOs, 6 subs, and 4 decisions. He's 3-2 in his last 5, coming off back-to-back losses against Kai Kara-France and Alexandre Pantoja. Both these fighters have recently lost to Pantoja because Pantoja is the flyweight GOAT now. And he went to war with Pantoja too, man. He went 5 rounds with Pantoja. So, man, it's a tough one to judge, man. Can Steve Erceg get that one little clip and just clip Branden Moreno? Branden Moreno's never been knocked out, though, I don't think. So it's going to be an interesting fight. I think I'm going to go with Branden Moreno, the hometown favorite. He's a -198 favorite. I'm going to go with the favorite. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Branden Moreno by unanimous decision win. I think he's going to control Steve against the cage the whole fight and like get him to the ground a few times. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Branden Moreno by unanimous decision. Put it down. Let's go. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hope everybody enjoyed the video. Everybody love everybody. I will see y'all on the next one. Baby.